Hey there, Oil This community. Jenny here, and I am bringing to you today a little bit of information on our CoImpact sourcing with doTERRA, which is one of the reasons that makes doTERRA so unique. So today I wanted to focus on Bulgaria, since of our new addition with the newest rose distillation distillery there. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the history of Bulgaria and why we're there and what has come out of this amazing region of the world. So at one time in Bulgaria, you would have driven through this area where our distillation buildings are, and you would have found a huge bustling industry. So this was before the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. And it was a key industrial area for the Soviets, and also to some of the world's most preeminent essential oil research, development, and production. But as of a few years ago, it wasn't like that anymore. You would see empty factory after empty factory, and it just wasn't like it was like it used to be. So this isn't for lack of expertise in the country or lack of ideal farming by any means. Or for that matter, lack of, good farming places for essential oils, because they have really sandy soil in this area and a climate that all contribute to a land that's very, very rich in potential for the growing of essential oils. So to this day, the country actually remains this agricultural haven for the growing of a variety of aromatic plants. And some of these plants are which we have now grown there are lavender, melissa, and chamomile. Okay. But without the support of their country, their state, to back them, a lot of the Bulgarian farmers have actually gone to grow crops like wheat and corn, which are the focus of the government funding and vast of the European Union subsidies for these farmers. So what doTERRA does, if you're not familiar with the CoImpact sourcing model, is we'll go into a place where there's rich soil and where there's a lot of potential and where there's people to be helped. Okay, and we actually want to help them lead that legacy. Okay, so what doTERRA did is we went into this area of Bulgaria, which is near Dobrich, I think it's pronounced Dobrich, as the location for our world-class headquarters a few years ago, 2016, for all these gorgeous essential oils that we have since grown and cultivated. So this doTERRA-owned farming and distillation company is actually called Esseterre. So if you're not familiar with doTERRA and what that means, it's doTERRA, meaning the gift of the earth in Latin. So now we call it Esseterre in Bulgaria, and we helped really bring a new chapter, to that country for this essential oil growing. So it's really a unique industry, and I'll tell you a little bit about what happened in the past. So in the past, in the perfume industry and the essential oil industry, what typically happened in regions like this, in Europe and in Haiti and all over the place, different parts of Asia, brokers had mostly managed the distilleries. Okay, and at the time, they definitely managed the distilleries that remained in Bulgaria, which means that the brokers determine how much and when the farmers get paid. Not super fair to the farmers. So they typically wouldn't get paid what they should get paid, and they typically didn't get paid on time. So sometimes they would wait months and years, and this is not okay for people who need to feed their families. So what makes Esseterre Distillery really unique is that we have an on-site state-of-the-art laboratory, okay, including, I'm going to give you two phrases here, gas chromatography and mass spectrometry. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but you can look up those two words, and it's very unique. So we have these machines that and a lounge where farmers can actually wait right there, and in most cases, while their crops are actually being distilled right there, they can get paid either that day or the next day. So having that on site is something that's huge and groundbreaking for doTERRA and Esseterre. So the other thing that they're able to do is help farmers right on site. Like if there's a farmer who worked extra hard or who got like a huge yield for their crop, they're actually able to give them a bonus right on site. So there's no distillery in Bulgaria that's able to do that for the farmers. So that's a hugely exciting thing that we're able to offer for our farmers. So just to give you an example of a story, you know, there still had been these farmers of essential oils in Bulgaria. And so what they would do is they would bring it to these other distilleries, but they didn't have the high-end equipment that Esseterre and doTERRA now have at this distillery. So what happens is this one farmer in particular who was had a crop of Melissa, which by the way, is like a lemon balm. So it smells kind of minty and kind of lemony. And he took his crop to be distilled at a different distillery, and they said, sorry, we can't get any oil out of this. Like, it's a bad crop. So he's found out about Esseterre, so he brings his crop to Esseterre, and we did it right on site. The distillery did it right on site with the state-of-the-art equipment. And he said the team fired up these boilers, and for an initial test, and they were able to get a really good quantity and quality of oil from this crop. And so the farmer just started crying because, you know, he was just so grateful and happy that we were able to do that for him. So just a little bit more on the Esseterre, that it's the biggest distillery in the country of Bulgaria right now. So it now at the time in 2016, I think it was like a dozen. I think we're up to at least, gosh, it might be like 15 or 20. It might be much more than 20. I can't remember exactly, but there's many distillation units. Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring up Esseterre today is because of the newest edition of Rose. This oil was never able to be bought, you know, by doTERRA wholesale advocates and customers. But now, because of a distillation unit in Bulgaria, we're now able to offer this to the masses. So besides, you know, Rose, again, in the Bulgarian Esseterre, we're able to do Lavender, Melissa, and then in the off seasons, we're able to do Blue Chamomile, which is in a couple of our blends, Yarrow and Fennel and Coriander and Juniper Berry, and now Rose. Okay, so as Corey Lindley says, who is one of our founders, he's quoted as saying, Esseterre is a model farming and distilling operation that we're very proud of, not only for its top-notch operations, but also for the way in which our CoImpact Sourcing model is able to bring the meaningful impact and opportunity to the part of the world that desperately needs it, which is really our hope for all the places that we distill our oils, right? That we can really meet a need for these farmers. This is how we'll continue to ensure that our supply chain, and also ensure that we continue to have the highest access to the highest quality essential oils and make the biggest impact worldwide. So that is your information today on CoImpact Sourcing on doTERRA. As always, come on over to my Oil This community on Instagram, or my private group on Facebook group, or of course my website, jennybackstrom.com. I would love to see you there. Bye-bye.